Hi there. Tonight I'm reading Chapter 5, Returning Home, from my book Domestic Violence on Ice. Now, if you haven't watched before, I've popped a little link in the description so that you can go and have a look at the other videos. I'd really like it if you watch at least the introduction so you can get an idea of where I'm coming from, just to give you a little bit of a frame. For this book, I'm not trying to seek any sympathy or pity. It's just an inspirational story. I've actually forgiven for everything that I've actually been through. And so I am actually grateful for my experiences. So I'm sharing it from a place of I've healed and moved forward. And I hope that I can help people by sharing my story. Now, as well, what I like to say when I start out on these chapters is if it brings anything up for you, it's a really good opportunity for you to go and speak to someone. So whether that means you call either a domestic violence service, or if you call something like Beyond Blue or a mental health service, that's really good to just talk to someone, even if it's just a close friend or family member. That's always good. Talking to people is really important if you're experiencing anything or if this is bringing up anything for you, because in some places this book can go a little bit deep. So without any more to say, thank you again for those of you that have been watching. It's really great to see your comments and messages that I receive. It's really, really neat. Makes me really smile. At least I know that I'm not doing it pointlessly. So thank you for that. Okay. Returning home. Returning home was my next horror. At home, minutes after sitting down, our bags stood unpacked and the pipe was pulled out. We hadn't been in the country more than 2 hours. My problem was the responsibility growing inside of me. I was furious. When I told Westley my thoughts, people no longer came over. I didn't want my child raised around dealers and gangsters. I didn't want Westley selling the drug I began to hate. I started nagging Westley to find a job, but he didn't want a job. He wanted to become a self-employed plasterer. At the time, full of hopes and dreams, I thought it would be great for him and us. Our own business. I knew he was good at his trade, but the dream was only mine because he was dealing again. I wanted out, but there was no way out. It was me, Westley, and our growing unborn son. It was his way or no way. My life was up and down. I was happy, sad, and crazy all in the same moment. I felt like a pregnant, paranoid psychopath. My first entry in New Zealand was written in January. We're staying at Wesley's parents' place for now, and it's okay. But I want us to move to the beach to get away from all the crap that happens here. Other than baby, life hasn't been anything great. Funny, the past few days I've had so many words yet I didn't want to write. Wesley and I have been arguing heaps and I was getting pretty miserable. I didn't want to write my unhappiness. Maybe it's just frustration. Paranoia consumed me. Some say paranoia is an effect of methamphetamine use. It's not only users who become affected. I did my head in with worry every time I was left at home. I didn't worry he was cheating on me. I felt like I was his world. I didn't worry about him getting hurt. He was fine. No one could hurt him. I worried about the game and him being caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. I didn't want to be another woman raising a child with the father locked up. I didn't want to be a single parent. I wanted my dream, a happy family. Our fights became more frequent. My hormones made the situation worse. I attacked Westley one day. I jumped on him. I can't even remember why. We had so many fights in that place. The poor shack took a beating. I often stood in the shower crying. It was too much, all the arguing, defending myself constantly. I felt emotionally exhausted. The tears wouldn't stop. I didn't want to be anywhere else because I felt as though the shower was the only place I had privacy. I didn't feel comfortable letting tears fall in my lounge or bedroom. I felt like I would be interrupted and interrogated. One of our fights was while I was in the shower crying. Wesley sat on a chair just outside the shower and he wouldn't drop it, whatever it was. He kept going on and on. I continued crying. He became really frustrated and punched a hole or two in the wall. The bathroom always seemed to be the worst hit. While we lived in the shack, I had a laptop with all my music, uni work, and a lot of my writing. It sat above our couch on a little bench top. During the rough times at this place, it was broken. The computer still worked, but the screen was cracked. I presumed Westley dropped it, or perhaps deliberately broke it. He denied everything. I don't remember if he said it was an accident or if he denied knowing what happened. It was too long ago. My memory is too faded now. I began feeling constantly alone. I spent many days crying. Wesley had stopped looking after me. I felt abandoned, as though he had stopped caring about me. Depression began taking over me as I watched Westley drift away. Money was being made and lost. It seemed to come with the job. One minute there was thousands, and the next someone would get arrested and everything was lost. Wesley sold his car, I guess to buy more drugs to restart the business. I went crazy. We were down to my car and it was always gone. I was stuck in our shack with nowhere to go. I began despising the place and the feeling of isolation. I felt miserable being left with the in-laws for hours while he was out and about with his associates. Gang members came and went. Everyone around us was fried. Life was far worse than before we left. I was just watching and waiting for someone to flip out or end up in jail or a psych ward, or maybe worse. I was left alone during February after another argument along the lines of, "When are you going to get a job?" or "Why don't you care about me anymore?" At some point, I completely fell apart. My tears of pain transformed into anger. I couldn't contact him. He wasn't coming home. I wanted his attention. I wanted more than nothing. I was trying to put something away in some old wooden drawers. They were stuck and falling apart. I flipped out and began attacking them, pulling them apart. I yelled angrily at Westley, even though he wasn't even there. "I hate you so much. Why the fuck don't you care anymore? Why do you keep leaving me here?" I felt worthless and insane. I became crazy and out of control. I felt I was in prison, stuck in a place I couldn't leave. I couldn't calm down, so I called a counselor to see if there was something wrong with me. She told me I was okay. I was completely normal. Perhaps I didn't tell her everything, but she told me I needed to create some boundaries and suggested a book on the topic. She understood my frustration at being stuck at home, Westley with no job and a baby on the way, and no home. That day, I wrote a letter to Westley. "I'm so sorry. I completely lost it. I started crying and I couldn't stop, and I wanted you to come back, but my phone must be in the car. And I got really angry because I can't stop crying and I can't ring you at all, and my tummy started hurting and I need help. I can't make collect calls to prepay mobiles, and I don't know where my tissues are, and I can't stop crying. And I don't know what the time is, and I've just snapped. Everything made me mad, and I was throwing everything out of the bedroom, screaming, 'I hate you because I can't do anything or go anywhere. And you're making me go insane, and you know I'm depressed, and you still leave me here. And I just need someone to actually look after me, and you don't understand. You don't know what is happening to me, and I can't stop crying. And it's not good for me. I'm miserable, and I can't do it anymore. So I'm going to talk to this lady who helps people who are depressed. And she'll try and make me feel better, but I don't know if she can. Baby keeps kicking me, and I want to stop crying, but I can't. And I don't want to hurt him. I have been trying to ring you, but I can't. I hate this. I don't want to cry anymore. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't know how long I have been crying for, but it won't stop. Even when I tried ringing the lady, I couldn't stop crying. Even when I rang telecom to try and buy a calling card over the phone, the stupid auto message made me so frustrated I just cried. I don't know what to do anymore. Sorry. Another note I wrote said, "Hey, my honey, I don't want you to be mad. I wish you could understand. I love you so much. I know you don't understand why I'm like this, but I'm crazy sometimes. It's not normal being like this all the time. No one is sad all the time. I know I have it good. I know you treat me good. I know I must seem so ungrateful to you. But there's a letter I already wrote you that explains why I want what I want. I just want us to be settled. I just want us to have our lives sorted before our baby comes. I don't want to be stressed out all the time, and it's the way your life is that is stressing me out. It would be so much less stress if we were away from here, away from the stuff that makes me mad and angry. I don't want to hurt our baby. I rely on you now for everything. If I could get a job and be a career girl again, I would, just so I wouldn't worry. But I can't do that now, and you know it, and it's not fair. All I want is to be a family with you. I'm coming home now, so please don't get angry. Please just look after me. I love you." After this, things calmed down for a while. I wrote about my fear of my growing stomach. I was afraid Westley wouldn't find it attractive. I talked with him. Westley assures me I'm still beautiful to him because it's our baby. I'm so lucky to have him. He is so special. He just stayed home all weekend, just to make me happy. He's amazing, best ever. He makes me smile so much. Around this time, we regularly visited some of our friends. They rented a house not too far away, and if Westley felt sorry for me or if I was being extra demanding, he would take me there. Often the boys would take off somewhere and leave us girls behind. Some days they stayed. In the middle of the day, the curtains were closed and a pipe appeared. Everyone sat around the dining room table and the lighter flickered. I'd take a couple of steps down and sit by myself in the lounge, watching Westley's every move. Occasionally I'd look out the window through the back door. Usually he wouldn't smoke it. He knew I didn't like him doing it. I stayed as far away as I could without being a snob. I didn't care everyone else was using it. They didn't have the responsibility of a family. It was their lives. I thought it was fine. It was their choice to make. Some of the crowd were self-confessed addicts. One of the girls was comfortable with her addiction. She happily admitted it. I thought her addiction was sad. At one stage, I watched her develop depression. She lost all her motivation. She left her job, which she was fantastic at. And their lives seemed to get progressively worse. There was so much anger. Their fights were violent and physical. The stories she told me had me wondering how she could endure it, but she smiled. She was tough. She told me she gave as much as she got. The ones who loved each other seemed to hate each other and hurt each other just as much. I put our negative drama out of my mind. Our problems paled in comparison to what others were experiencing. Their lives made mine look fabulous. Early in March, I wrote again. Things were okay. Westley keeps telling me how beautiful I am, and he looks so happy. It's so nice, and I feel beautiful too. Towards the end of March, I put my foot down and told Westley we needed a home before baby was born. We began looking for a place, but the pressure to move impacted us. In April, a month after my happy diary entries, Westley began digging up old rumours about me and my ex. He thought I was trying to get the ex back when we first got together. I thought he was acting crazy. I was frustrated and tried reasoning with him. I told him, "Look at me. I'm pregnant with your baby. I just gave up my job, my apartment, my life for you." I wrote in my diary, "I can't do the stress and the anger, the pain." I felt like he had twisted the past so much, I ended up feeling guilty. And I would be the one apologizing, believing that I had hurt him. I wished he could see what he'd meant to me. Looking back, it seemed a lot like the paranoia and aggression that commonly occurs with meth users. It was something I noticed more as time went on. Eventually we moved into Baxter Place. It was just over a month before Noah was born. Wesley wanted to make me happy again, so he bought me a bedroom set, duvet, pillows and cushions, and he set them up for me. It was a gesture that made me happy for 5 minutes. But I was still stressed out. I wrote, "What a week. We've been arguing constantly for so long. It just sucks. I want everything to settle down again. I want peace. I want to relax. I don't want to stress. I'm so worried. I don't want to hurt this baby. I'm glad this moving is over now." I was sure he was dealing to pay for the house, car and the food. Not long after we moved, his auntie dropped her son off and all his stuff on us. A few weeks before Noah was born, I wrote, "I hate writing bad things in here. I'm just having a crappy day and I need rest. I only have 3 weeks to go. I want to have a bath, but I can't even be bothered to have one. I'm so tired. It's not fair. My body is aching. I feel like crying. I can't wait to bring this baby home, but I am so afraid of what it will be like when he's here. I love my Westley and my baby boy. I'm so afraid though. I'm afraid of the fighting and the sadness. When I don't feel like this, I don't want to do anything." I was worried. My baby's growth had slowed and my midwife ordered me to rest. I was certain the fighting, yelling and screaming was causing the problem. Every fight we fought, my insides ran with dark, horrible feelings like poison running through my body. When I told Westley I was ordered to rest, he didn't want me doing anything. He commanded his cousin to do everything. The emotions, anxiety and sick feeling in my body continued. When I wanted to do the dishes, I had to be sneaky. I told his cousin, "If Westley asks, you did these dishes, okay?" Westley wouldn't acknowledge the constant fighting was causing problems. He thought there was something wrong with me, suggesting it was my fault that the baby's growth had slowed. He made me feel guilty for going away with my mum for a weekend to learn about property investing. Soon after I returned home, a few days before Noah's birth, I wrote, "Hey, my honey, we're fighting all the time. I'm sad and unhappy. I love you and I want to be happy. You're mad with me and I think you blame me that the baby is still small. I feel dumb. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is my fault. Maybe I was wrong to go to Auckland. Maybe I haven't done anything right. Today you told me I was putting my career before my family and that felt dumb. I'm just trying to do something so hopefully soon we both won't have to work. You told me you gave up your career. I'll be glad when that's true. I don't know why that would be your dream anyway. Can't you see all the shit it causes? Can't you see how unhappy it makes everyone? Can't you see how it tears people's relationships apart? Can't you see how it causes so many problems between friends and family? I hate the arguing. I hate the fighting. I hate the way everyone is mad at each other. I hate what it does to everyone. I don't like the yelling and the constant fighting. How can that be your dream? How can so much crap be what you always wanted for yourself? I love you so much, but it hurts at the moment. Why can't we just be happy? Why can't we just stop fighting? I only have days left and I just want to enjoy the last few days. Instead, I'm sad and miserable. Today I saw something I didn't like. Twice. I saw you completely lose it. You weren't in control anymore. I can't stand it. It's horrible and you get worse and blame me. Try to say it's my fault you're mad. But the way you were today wasn't very nice. You couldn't calm down and it made me feel horrible. Now you're home again. You're in a better mood. That's nice. But how long until you get grumpy again? I had a bath and continued writing. I want to know you will be by my side through everything. I don't want to fight anymore. I hate it so much. But every time we try and fix it, you tell me you will try not be so angry, but it still ends up back this way. This time wasn't so bad. You stayed happier for longer, but I can't cope with anger every other day. I know you only get mad because you're worried, but it's horrible. I realized today how much I hate your anger. When you told me not to do the dishes, I wanted to because I needed to get up and move around. But when I was doing them, I didn't want you to know that I was doing them. I didn't want you to be mad. The reason I clicked was because I told your cousin he was doing the dishes if you asked. So I was at the point of lying to you just to avoid your anger. I don't think you'll understand that, but I don't lie. And it's to the point that I will if it avoids you getting mad. Maybe that's how it's always been. Maybe I am afraid of you, or maybe afraid of your anger. You have to take responsibility for your anger and emotions. You can't keep blaming everyone else. Anger is about control. You're angry because you can't control something or someone. And it's not fair because I can't stand feeling controlled. I tried to explain I wouldn't overdo the housework, but if I felt like it, I would still do things around the house. I felt frustrated. I worried about our fighting and if it was affecting our child. But I didn't know how to make it stop. I didn't want to leave, but I didn't want to stay either. I was fixated on my family. I wanted to be a happy family. I held on tightly to my hopes, which I wrote the day before my son was born. I hope we can do this well. I hope I can remember to have fun and enjoy him. I hope I can play and have fun with him. I hope I can take him to places and show him interesting things. I'm really tired. I hope I can sleep tonight. I hope we have everything we need. I hope we are ready. I hope we do okay. So thank you for those that have listened tonight. That was really cool to see that a few people joined in. So that was chapter 5. And the next chapter is about newborn ups and downs. So I will read that either on Thursday or Friday night. We'll just see how we go because I'm not sure exactly what I have on Thursday night. It may get a little bit busy on Thursday night. So we'll try for Friday night, if not Thursday, but I'll probably throw a really last minute post up and tell you when I'm going to go live, and it probably won't give you a lot of notice, but you kind of might be used to that by now because I'm not the most predictable person yet. So thank you again. Really enjoyed reading it. It's actually kind of fun reading my book, which I wasn't actually expecting. And now I'm seeing all the grammar errors and I'm like, why didn't I see that when I edited it like the 16th time? But that's awesome and I'm enjoying it and I hope you've enjoyed it too. So if you've liked it, please like this post. If you have any ideas or if you want to talk to me more about it, leave me some comments. That would be awesome. And yeah, if you really, really enjoyed it and you think there's someone that you know that might get value out of it, maybe share it or tag a friend in it, or maybe if it's not appropriate to tag a friend, maybe private message a friend. That would be awesome. Take care, have a beautiful night, and we will talk to you again in a couple of days. Bye.